the beautiful finale of Invincible Season 3 has just aired, it's got a lot of people talking about how strong Invincible is after he fought and defeated the Viltrumite Conquest. And although that's cool and all, let's be real, we all know that the MVP wasn't Mark. Nor was it...
Sit your motherfucking ass down.
Yeah, it wasn't Oliver either. So then who could it possibly be? Well, I mean, there was only ever one person on the battlefield. So that means, yeah, the MVP of the fight was Atom Eve. As we all know, she did major damage to Conquest with just one attack. So that made me, and other people included, think, just how strong is Atom Eve? And I'll answer that exact question in this video here. But in this video, instead of talking about Eve, I want to put up against somebody extremely powerful to see how she'll do in a fight. So yes, as you can see by the title and thumbnail, in this video I'm going to be putting Atom Eve from Invincible up against the Scarlet Witch from Marvel to see who'd win in a versus battle. So strap in, because I'm going to get real in depth with this video. But if you guys enjoy content like this, you know what to do. Hit that like button and subscribe, as I do post content like this regularly, and to be honest, it's a win-win. You guys show me love and support, and I give back to you in the form of videos. Whether it's Invincible, Marvel, or just fiction in general, in due time I plan on covering it, so be there when I go there. I feel like I rambled on long enough at this point, so why don't I jump straight into the video and find out who's stronger between Atom Eve and the Scarlet Witch. Now before we do any sort of scaling, I'm going to go over the rules so you guys know what I'm doing this by. Don't worry, the rules won't be anything too complicated like the first one. The first rule covers what forms these two will be in. For Atom Eve, I'll be using her comic book form, and for Scarlet Witch, I'll be using her MCU version. But for series only watchers of Invincible, don't worry, I won't include any major spoilers from the Invincible comics, as I'll be keeping the spoilers to a bare minimum, so you can watch this video carefree for the most part. The second rule is that both of them will be put up against each other in two different forms. As both of them can enter amped up states, I'm going to be separating their forms into different battles, meaning there will be a battle where they're in their regular states, and then the second battle will go over them in their fully powered states. Now the third rule is that both of them are going to be aiming to end the fight as soon as possible. Although both of them are no nonsense fighters, I just wanted to add this in here so you guys know, and so there's no pushback inside of the comments. The fourth rule is that this fight will go on until one of them loses. This will make more sense later, but for now, just keep it in mind. And the fifth and final rule is where this fight is going to take place, and we'll let the fight happen on Titan. Titan is a desolate planet, so I feel like that'd be perfect for both of them to go all out. But with that being said, I feel like I've covered all the rules that will apply to the versus battle, so how about we get straight into their scaling. Now to begin the scaling section, we're going to go over Atom Eve, and as always, I'm going to start with her AP. Now for her regular AP, placing her around Multi-Continental Plus to even Moon level is fair. The reason I say this is fair is because we get to see her damage multiple Viltrumites throughout the series. From her being able to damage Conquest in the animated series, to then her being able to fend off Viltrumites later on inside the series, I think that it's kind of concrete to say that she should be around this ballpark. Now remember, this is the exact same Conquest who was inferred to be stronger than Nolan, who was able to destroy a collapsing planet alongside Thaddeus and Mark. Now before I move on with any sort of scaling, I'm going to explain how damage scaling works inside of Invincible so you guys know why I put those tiers of strength. In season 1, we see Omni-Man stick Mark in front of a train, and well, we all know what happened. Later on, we see Mark punch Conquest's metal arm, and while he breaks Conquest's arm, he also breaks his own. In the comics, something similar happens to those examples, so what I'm trying to get at is, if you're not strong enough, you quite literally break yourself from somebody else's body inside of Invincible. So what I'm trying to tell you guys is to even do damage to somebody inside of Invincible, you need to scale around them. The reason I had to explain that is so you guys understood why I was able to use those feats and why they're actually valid. So that means in terms of AP, Eve should definitely be around Multi-Continental level plus to even Moon level. Now for a full power state, we easily see her able to damage Conquest with just one attack, and since I'll be using her in this mode constantly, this one attack won't be the end. But for her overall AP, she should be around Moon level plus to small planetary in terms of AP while in her full powered state. Up next, we have her speed, and we do see her able to keep up with Viltrumites at points, but we do see that once they ramp it up, it may become too much for her to handle. But then again, the Viltrumites are the exact same race that can travel entire galaxies in under 2 weeks. A far weaker Mark than the one that appeared in season 3 was able to travel 65 million light years in just 2 weeks. Now I know many may be saying,
well, traverse speed and combat speed are two different things.
And yes, everybody knows that, but If you were to fly that far and you weren't able to perceive where you were going, wouldn't that be terrible? Yeah, I think you guys know where I'm going with this. Now, people with brains would already know this, but let's just say I had some pushback on another video I made, so I just have to make this clear. People genuinely think that Mark could fly 65 million light years for 2 weeks straight and not crash into a single planet. Damn, he wouldn't even know where to stop if he couldn't perceive where he's going. Like, I just don't understand it. But I say all of that to say that Eve is definitely massively faster than light in both a regular state and in a full power state. The reason Eve doesn't jump up a tier in terms of speed is because, well, she doesn't reach infinite. She's just still massively faster than light. She's just faster than she was before. So yeah, that's why I'm going to keep her still at massively faster than light in a full powered state. Up next, we have her durability, and for Eve's regular durability, she just scaled around her AP due to her constructions. But if you're able to damage somebody inside of Invincible, you should be able to take attacks from them. So in a regular state, she should definitely be around multi-continental plus to moon level. For a full powered state, Eve's durability should definitely be around moon level plus to small planetary levels, as it should be around her AP. Up next, we have her endurance, and well, we've seen Eve take many attacks and get back up. Now, the main reason she does get back up most of the time is because of her regeneration, but even without it, we've seen her have her leg broken, and she's willingly fought a Viltrumite despite the fact that she's already severely injured from her literally having her leg broken the week or just a few days prior. Even though Eve doesn't have the crazy endurance feats like how Mark, Omni-Man, Thrag or Battle Beast do, it doesn't really matter, as we do see that she does have a really high pain tolerance and she can fight for a decent amount of time, making her endurance pretty good and allowing me to move on to her battle IQ. And Eve does excel at this stat, as from early on as her fighting her siblings to the conquest fight and then later on inside the series, Eve has shown us that she can use her powers decently well and can fake her strategies on the fly. So in battle, she's definitely competent, but with that being said, now that I've gotten all the other points out of the way, why not just move into her main tool, and that's her hacks. Technically, Eve only has one ability, but because the ability is so expansive, I'm going to have to cover it in tiny little sections, so why not just jump straight into it. Eve's main ability is a matter manipulation, and it allows her to manipulate the molecular and atomic structure of matter in her immediate vicinity. From changing food, to clothes, to then even making a whole entire wood house and just restoring life to land, Eve's matter manipulation is extremely potent. We also have her energy construction, which is damn near the exact same as Green Lantern's. She can fly, create force fields, use telekinesis, shoot energy blasts, and can spawn water out of thin air. Along with P, you can make it more acidic by willing it, and then on top of that, Brandyworth does give us a statement saying that she should be able to control the blood flow and just things inside of other people. It's clear that Eve is extremely strong, and when you are able to remove her limiters, her powers only go up a stage, and this is where she's damn near immortal. Unless you can eviscerate her from existence entirely, Eve is immortal. She can always come back, as she's just going to instantly regenerate any damage you do to her. And that is why there are two versions of this fight, because realistically inside the story, whenever she uses her power, it just disappears immediately and she just goes back to her regular state. So now you know. But the main thing I will say for Eve's power is that it just mainly hinges on how creative she wants to be. As Brandyworth said, while going all out, Eve's potential is limitless, so it's up to her to figure out how to use it. But with that being said, I feel like I've covered everything I need to cover with Eve, so why not I move into Wanda Maximoff. As I begin Wanda's section, just like Eve's, we're gonna go over her AP. Now to scale Wanda's base AP, we can do a multitude of things, but don't worry, I'll make it simple. Oh, if you want to know what Wanda's base is, it's gonna be Wanda pre-Darkhold, so that means everything WandaVision and prior. I know the first thing everybody's going to be pointing out is her being able to easily just dismantle Thanos in Endgame when she was mad, but I have a better feat to showcase her strength. In Infinity War, Wanda was able to hold back 5 Infinity Stone Thanos with one hand while destroying the Mind Stone with the other. The reason this is so impressive is because, well, aside from them literally being the Infinity Stones, this is the exact same Thanos that beat Hulk, Thor, Doctor Strange, and many others before coming here. Now, although that was pre-Stormbreaker Thor, either way it's extremely impressive, as Thanos didn't even use the Power Stone against Hulk, which makes me think that he didn't even use the Power Stone against Thor in the first place. I may have noticed that I keep bringing up Thor, and that's for a good reason. because this is the exact same Thor that was able to take the power of a dwarf star straight to his back, and it wasn't just for a second, it was for a while. And Thanos easily disposed of him. A far weaker Thanos than the one that Wanda stopped with just one hand. And I just want to add that she was not in the right mental state when she was holding him back as well. And so I say all of this to say, at a harsh lowball, I'll be putting Wanda at dwarf star level. If you want to, you can easily put Wanda far higher, as I just said, this is an extremely harsh lowball. So if you want to put her higher, I have no qualms about it, but just because I know this is a confirmed place and where she should scale to, I'm going to keep her here. And so for Darkhold Wanda, well, she stated to be able to bend or destroy all of reality once becoming the Scarlet Witch, and yeah, let's just say that's something. That means that Wanda is universal at bare minimum, and if you really wanted to, it's known that Wanda destroyed every version of the Darkhold in the multiverse. This is important because that means it wasn't just talking about the reality inside of her universe, it was talking about all the reality inside of Marvel. Meaning, yeah, I think you guys can piece together what I'm trying to say. To be fair, I'm going to keep her at hyperversal, and if you really wanted to, you could argue her higher, but let's just keep it here for now. Up next we have her speed, and it's stated that Iron Man's repulsors are beams of light, but they get completely overshadowed by the Destroyer's lasers, which are stated to be 100,000 times more powerful than them. As we all know, the Destroyer fights Thor, and basically every Thor past this point can either be relative to this Thor or just straight up stronger than him. Either way, aside from Stormbreaker Thor, Wanda just has better showcases of power up against Thanos. In Infinity War, Ragnarok Thor wasn't even a test for Thanos, and in Endgame, we literally saw how Wanda was probably going to be the only person on that battlefield to just take out Thanos legitimately. But since she is stronger than every iteration of Thor, aside from Stormbreaker Thor in this state, then we can easily put her at massively faster than light. But with the Darkhold, where does she scale? Well, we don't have any concrete feats to say that she's this fast, but what I can say is that she's several times faster than what she is in her base, meaning we can put her still at massively faster than light. Due to certain hacks that she does have, if you really wanted to, you could argue her to be even faster, but since there are not any actual concrete scales and feats for them, I'm just going to keep her here. Up next is her durability, and Wanda's raw durability isn't special, but since she can reinforce herself with magic, it does mean that her AP and durability should be around the exact same. This means that in her base, she should be dwarf star level plus, while in her full power state, she's hyperversal plus. Moving on, we have her endurance, and Wanda is able to use her magic for prolonged periods of time, just like in WandaVision, and in the Multiverse of Madness, we see her cut herself up into shreds and then piece herself back together again. Yeah, in this stat she's really good because her pain tolerance is through the roof and her stamina is crazy, meaning Wanda does have really good endurance to pair up with her really good durability. Up next we have her battle IQ, and in the beginning Wanda was pretty bad as she couldn't control her powers to the best of her ability, like at the beginning of Civil War, but with time and especially discovering the Darkhold, we could say that she's gotten really great at using her power, meaning her battle IQ has definitely increased. Best showcase of this maturity would be when she goes up against the Illuminati and easily dismembers them. So yeah, we can say that Wanda has really great battle IQ. And so lastly, we have her hacks, and she only has her chaos magic, but it's extremely versatile, so let's cover it. First thing I want to mention is that she has probability hacks, and that is extremely helpful for her type of magic. As you can tell by the name, chaos magic wants you to be, well, chaotic, and so even though it does help her out in other scenarios, her probability hacks does boost her chaos magic by a large margin. So that is why it's easy for her to be so strong, is because when those two combine, it really kind of does make her unstoppable. Up next we have her telepathy, and we get to see her use it with Quicksilver in Age of Ultron, and in the exact same movie, we get to see her manipulate the minds of the Avengers. It's clear that her communication telepathy can be activated with her mind, but it seems that she has to send a blast of her magic to your brain directly to manipulate your mind. Wanda can warp reality on a small or huge scale depending on what version we're using. Wanda can fly, teleport, and telekinesis, can say waves of energy at people, she can absorb opponent's power, she can regenerate, she has elemental manipulation, and she can alter somebody's body just by waving her hand. Those are just some of the many hacks that she does have, and she can even protect her soul, as she was able to fend the souls of the damned. Wanda has many more abilities that I could just throw in here, but they don't really affect the fight. So with that being said, I feel like I've covered everything I've needed to. So why don't we jump straight into the battle and see who's truly stronger? Is it Samantha Atom Eve Wilkins, or is it Wanda Maximoff, the Scarlet Witch? With Wanda teleporting onto time because she heard that there was an ancient spell that could help her bring her family back, Eve shows up because the coalition told her that Wanda would be a threat. So Eve would be guarding whatever spell is there, meaning Wanda has to get through her to get to that spell. And we already know how Wanda doesn't play about her family, so she tells her to move, but Eve isn't moving, and so they just get to scrapping. As this is the first fight, this is going to be their regular states, and so Eve is going to be faster than Wanda, and Wanda is going to notice this, but all of Eve's attacks aren't really doing much to Wanda. Wanda's probably wondering what sort of magic she's using, but at the end of the day, Wanda's still going to be like, hey, listen, I got my kids on the line, so I'm going to need you to move. And so Wanda would start fighting back, shooting her chaos magic, and Eve notices that when it hits her, Eve, let's just say one attack from Wanda is making Eve fall to the ground immediately, and all of her armor is shattered, and I don't know if Eve's gonna be able to get back up. Eve's gonna try to get back up, but before she can, Wanda's just gonna teleport in front of her, and that's it. She gets eviscerated. So the winner of the first fight goes to Wanda Maximoff. As this fight is done, and I'm actually upset with how the fight ended, I decide to rewind the fight, but this time I place the Darkhold in Wanda's hands, and for Eve, I tamper with her brain and say, yeah, let's get rid of those mental blocks. So the second fight starts now. This time, Eve's going to try and manipulate whatever Wanda's doing, and she's gonna try explode her hand, for instance. But Wanda's gonna cast a spell to reinforce herself, and it doesn't work. Wanda is actually pretty impressed with what Eve's doing, but she just realizes that Eve just isn't on her level, and so she's gonna be like, listen, you're in front of something that's gonna get me my kids, don't make me move you. Quite frankly, Eve doesn't care, so she shoots a blast at Wanda, and Wanda just negates it and then shoots one of her own, and this kills Eve. But then Eve just regenerates. Well, at this point, it's too late for Eve since she's already lost, and as I said in the rules section, once you lose the fight once, it's over. Even if you wanted to entertain that, Wanda could just erase her from existence, and she'd probably just blitz her. Wanda is way above Eve, and so when she's actually deciding to go all out and use her magic, that is when Eve is just eviscerated on the spot, and yes, Wanda does win again. That makes it 2-0 for the Scarlet Witch, allowing me to close out the video. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Somebody gave me the suggestion, wait, hold on, I'm gonna bring up his name real quick, Destroy7659. Thank you, because I was actually gonna do this fight, but I didn't think anybody wanted it until I saw your comment. I was like, you know what, let me just do it. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I really did love scaling Scarlet Witch. I thought she was a lot weaker inside the MCU than I thought, but when I did some digging, I remembered all the things that she was doing. I was like, wait, hold on, she's a little bit stronger than I remembered. So yeah, a fight I really want to do now is Eve versus Psylocke, but I'll give it some time. If you guys really want that, comment it down below and whatnot. Obviously, give me other suggestions. Obviously, when I put up polls and posts and whatnot, I will be launching my Discord soon. I'm basically done with it. I'm just procrastinating with launching it. I'll probably drop it sometime soon, I don't know, maybe even before I upload this video. But yeah, anyway, I love you all. Thank you for the support. See you guys in the next video. Goodbye.